Namaste and welcome to meditation. The, I wanted to talk a little bit about a lot of the social unrest and rioting around the country right now, and the idea that you know that I feel that this is a good time for this kind of action and this change because there's been such disruptions on a bigger scale. We saw last year, the year before, with the Black Lives Movement and many of the police shootings that were happening around the country, that there was action and then it kind of filtered out and kind of subsided and not a lot was done. Um, but sometimes for real social change to happen, there has to be that kind of perfect storm environment to happen. That more than one thing has to come together to intensify and focus on an issue that. So that something, so there's something that comes out of activism, and we've seen this many times before throughout history, where activists, worked and worked and worked to promote change, and then it moved a little bit, but then one thing happened and kind of shifted the dynamic socially and the social conscious. And I think with the pandemic and with the unemployment and the lockdown, that the numbers of people who are willing to get involved and actually have their voices heard have swelled dramatically. Um, the idea that America needs to address its systemic racism has been going on for many, many, many years. Um, and and within the system of law enforcement, there has been constant systemic racism. Um, I had a roommate who was African American for many, many, many years, and when 13 years, I lived with an African American man. We went to school together. We met in college. After school, we moved in together. We were in the same business, and he was very like well put together, kind of like bookish looking guy, and we would walk into a store or walk down the street, and I can remember him pointing out to me that we were being followed by either the security guard or a cop, and it wasn't even I wasn't even aware that we were being followed, but because he had lived with that all his life, he was very aware of it. And that made me realize that there were some things about the issue of being African American that I would never, ever, ever fully understand. That idea of knowing that every time you walk into a store, you're targeted as somebody who is going to commit crime, or when you walk down the street or drive a car, that you get stopped just because of the color of your skin, and we have no idea what that is must be like on a daily basis, and the kind of fear and anger and kind of mistrust that it builds in someone. So, if you're a white person, it's time to start to recognize the idea of white privilege, that it exists, that like I said, that was a privilege. What I was pointing out with my friend, that we would walk into a store and I wouldn't notice that the security guard was following us, is a privilege. Um, and that we have to be there to support. I think one of the greatest things that happened over the weekend was when the police in that one city, when they said walk with us, they actually stopped, being the force that pushed back the protest, but actually kind of joined in on the protest because they saw it. They saw it. So while we're in this time of turmoil, of horrific pain and suffering, uh, there is the seed for, like, growth and change that could come out of it. That could be really positive, really a wonderful moment in time that could be marked as a bookmark in history. Um, so, but as we do that, we should all kind of still, as we protest, keep that idea of there's a way to protest and have that equanimity of mind, that we are all working for a goal, a commonality. Um, so taking a moment, establishing your seat, close your eyes, and focus your mind, and allow the breath to deepen. Inhale deeply. And exhale fully. As you inhale deeply, hear the sound of Om within yourself. As you exhale, hear the sound of Om within yourself. As you inhale the sound of Om, see the symbol of Om within the mind's eye. As you exhale the sound of Om, see the symbol of Om within the mind's eye. Continue to see and hear the sound and the symbol of Om within yourself. Continue as you exhale to see and hear the sound and the symbol of Om within yourself. Continue to deep inhale and deep exhale. And if the mind begins to wander or thoughts arise, try not to attach yourself to those thoughts. Inhale the sound of Om. Exhale the sound of Om. Om.